Hey everyone, it's Augustinelli. If you are watching this video, it means I had to call out for an emergency. So, this is your work for today. You have this lovely text, it's about 2 pages long with questions, and you have a student worksheet that you'll actually turn in. So, as you can see, there are 10 questions, and there are 10 questions here. So you are going to put your answers to each of these 10 questions in your worksheet. So if you think the answer to number one is D, you would put D here. And then I want some rationale as to how you know you're right. This can be text evidence or just a quick explanation at how you arrived to that answer. So again, you would put in A, B, C, or D. I'm just going to put in A, and maybe you'd put in a quote, or I know I'm right because, and then you're going to answer that. I'm going to read the text for you in a moment for kids who need that accommodation or like that accommodation. But first, I'm going to talk about the rest of what you need to do. So, when you finish, you are going to fill in the main idea, the author's purpose, the topic, and the theme. So remember, main idea is a summary. Author's purpose is going to fall into 3 buckets: to inform, persuade, or entertain. Be specific about what they're informing you of, what they're trying to persuade you of, or specifically how he's entertaining you. Topic should be a word, and then the theme is going to be the author's message. So, with that being said, if you would like to complete this independently, you can stop this video now. Otherwise, if you would like me to read you the text, you will stay on and listen to me read. So, this passage is adapted from Self-Reliance, an essay by Ralph Waldo Emerson, in which he discusses the best way to live. The essay is in public domain. I read the other day some verses written by an eminent painter, which were original and not conventional. The soul always hears an admonition in such lines, let the subject be what it may. The sentiment that they instill is of more value than any thought they may contain. To believe your own thought, to believe that what is true for you in your private heart is true for all men, that is genius. Speak your latent conviction, and it shall be the universal sense, for the inmost in due time becomes the outmost. And our first thought is rendered back to us by the trumpets of the last judgment. Familiar as the voice of the mind is to each, the highest merits we ascribe to Moses, Plato, and Milton is that they set at naught books and tradition, and spoke not what men but what they thought. A man should learn to detect and watch that gleam of light which flashes across his mind from within more than the luster of firmament and bards and sages. Yet he dismisses without notice his thought because it is his. In every work of genius we recognize our own rejected thoughts. They come back to us with a certain alienated majesty. Great works of art have no more affecting lesson for us than this. There is a time in every man's education when he arrives at the conviction that envy is ignorance, that imitation is suicide, that he must take himself for better, for worse, as his portion, that though the wide universe is full of good, no kernel of nourishing corn can come to him but through his toil, bestowed on that plot of ground which is given to him to till. The power which resides in him is new in nature, and none but he knows what he can do, nor does he know until he has tried. Not for nothing one face, one character, one fact, makes much impression on him, and another none. This sculpture in the memory is not without pre-established harmony. The eye was placed where one ray should fall, that it may testify of that particular ray. But we half express ourselves and are ashamed of that divine idea which each of us represents. It may be safely trusted as proportionate and of good issues, so it be faithfully imparted. But God will not have his work made manifest by cowards. A man is relieved and gay when he has put his heart into his work and done his best, but what he has said or done otherwise shall give him no peace. It is a deliverance which does not deliver. In the attempt his genius deserts him. No muse befriends, no intervention, no invention, no hope. These are the voices which we hear in solitude, but they grow faint and inaudible as we enter into the world. Society everywhere is in conspiracy against the manhood of every one of its members. Society is a joint stock company in which the members agree, for the better securing of his bread, to each shareholder to surrender the liberty and culture of the eater. The virtue in most request is conformity. Self-reliance is its aversion. It loves not realities and creators, but names and customs. Whoso would be a man must be a nonconformist. He who would gather immortal palms must not be hindered by the name of goodness, but must explore if it be goodness. Nothing is at last sacred but the integrity of your own mind. A foolish consistency is the hobgoblin of little minds, adored by little statesmen and philosophers and divines. With consistency, a great soul has simply nothing to do. He may as well concern himself with his shadow on the wall. Speak what you think now in hard words, and tomorrow speak what tomorrow thinks in hard words again, though it contradicts everything you said today. Ah, so you shall be sure to be misunderstood. It is so bad, then, to be misunderstood? Pythagoras was misunderstood, and Socrates, and Jesus, and Luther, and Copernicus, and Galileo, and Newton, and every pure and wise spirit that ever took flesh. To be great is to be misunderstood. Awesome. So now I'm going to read these questions for you guys. The author refers to an eminent painter, Plato and Milton and others, because A, he wants the reader to know that geniuses are often nonconformists. B, he gives examples of nonconformists. C, he gives examples of people who conform. Or D, people will pay attention if he promises them fame. So you'll take a second, pause it, put your answer A, B, C, or D here, and how you know you're right. Number 2, the line, a man should learn to detect and watch that gleam of light which flashes across his mind from within more than the luster of the firmament of bards and sages. It can be inferred that Emerson, A, thinks Shakespeare's writing should be studied. B, suggests everyone become an artist. C, true art comes from individuality. Or D, art is a science. Go ahead and pause it. Put your answer for number 2, A, B, C, or D, and how you know you're right. Number 3, the author mentions kernel of nourishing corn. What is being compared to the corn? A, the hard work that people have to do. B, the food that people have. C, inspiration. Or D, success in life. Right now, pause it. Put your answer for 3 and how you know you're right. Number 4, according to the text in the 3rd paragraph, sculptures are enjoyed because A, the ray falls perfectly. B, there is a predetermined harmony. C, the viewer has eyes. Or D, a famous artist created it. So you're going to pause it, go to number 4, give your answer, and how you know you're right. 5, the word toil most closely means A, luck. B, grind. C, work. Or D, money. For number 5, put your answer and how you know you're right. You can pause it now. All right, we're on to the last half. Which of the following best explains what Emerson thinks of cowards? A, God does not support cowards. B, cowards are often very relieved. C, cowards cannot create, or D, a coward does not deliver. Under number 6, put your answer A, B, C, or D, and how you know you're right. You can pause it now. 7. Which maxim best summarized the first 2 paragraphs? A, to thine own self be true. B, those who can't do, teach. C, birds of a feather flock together. Or D, seize the day. A maxim is a saying, so it's asking which one of these sayings best summarizes the first 2 paragraphs of this. So you can pause it, put your answer A, B, C, or D, and how you know you're right. By the way, as you're answering these questions, you should totally be referring back to the text. Just watching this video shouldn't be enough for you to answer it. You should also be looking at the text for your answers. Number 8. What are the voices we hear in solitude? A, our consciences. B, our close friends. C, the spirit of nonconformity. Or D, our inner voice. Pause it, put your answer A, B, C, or D, and how you know you're right in the worksheet. Number 9. In the text, hobgoblin can be best defined as A, a trouble-causing pixie or fairy. B, something in your blood. C, a small thing. Or D, something that wobbles. Go ahead and pause it. Refer back to your text if you need to. Put in your answer A, B, C, or D for number 9 and how you know you're right. Last question before we go on to main idea, author's purpose, topic, and theme. Which of the following is a good example of someone living Emerson's aphorism? To be great is to be misunderstood. A, writing the wrong answers on a test. B, going to a psychologist to understand your problems. C, studying hard to do well on a test. Or D, creating a meal without a recipe. Go ahead, put your answer A, B, C, or D here and how you know you're right. Now what you are going to do is fill in the main idea, the author's purpose, the topic, and the theme. Main idea is what this text was about. You may have to look at the text again. Author's purpose, persuade, inform, or entertain. Topic, give us a few words. And then theme, what is our author's message? Good luck, kiddos. I hope you have a great day. I wish I could be there to hang out with you and see you today. But I know you guys will do great even without me. Until next time, bye.